1 minute. Okay,
So
sir,
now
we are live on YouTube.
Okay,
Right.
now you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please let me know if there is any problem in between.
Okay, so I'm starting, sir. Very good evening to all the delegates, participants, and viewers. I warmly welcome to Pune District Education Association, Shankara Ursar College of Pharmacy, Kharadi, Pune, Maharashtra, organized international webinar on the topic Pharmacy Skill Development for Future Pharmacy. Organized on the occasion of 61st birthday celebration of Honorable Shri Ajit Dada Pawar, Deputy Chief Minister, Government of Maharashtra, and President, Pune District Education Association. On behalf of Shankara Ursar College of Pharmacy, Kharadi, Pune, it's my great privilege to welcome today's chief guest, Dr. Praveen Kumar Ingre, who is working as Senior Lecturer, International Medical University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I would like to welcome our principal, Dr. Ashok Bhosle, Shankara Ursar College of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research Center, Kharadi, Pune, Professor Sachin Kotwal, Principal, Shankara Ursar College of Pharmacy, Kharadi, Pune, Mr. Manoj Jograna, Coordinator, and all my colleagues, students, and all the participants who are attending this live webinar on different online platforms. So the pharmacist need to have a skills such as he is the person who is involved in healthcare system. The skills also important for a successful career as pharmacist, such as communication skill, interpersonal skill, management skill, multitasking skill, and patient counseling, and many more. So now this, I request our principal, Dr. Ashok Bhosle, sir, which is a recipient of Best Principal Award by Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune, and also recipient of prestigious award by PDA, Baburajji Golab Award, to give the welcome note. Please, sir.
Okay. Good evening, all. Today's eminent speaker, Professor Dr. Praveen Kumar Ingre, International Medical University, Malaysia, Principal of Diploma College, Professor Sachin Kotwal, sir, Vice Principal of our college, Dr. Vijaya Barge, madam, coordinators of today's webinar, Professor Amit Kasbe, sir, Professor Manoj Jograna, sir, Professor Prashant Khade, sir, other dignitaries, teachers, staff members, researchers, and dear students. Today we have organized as an international webinar on pharmacy skill development for future pharmacists. I warmly welcome speaker for this webinar, Dr. Praveen Kumar Ingre, sir, and other dignitaries. On the occasion of 61st birthday of Honorable Ajit Dada Pawar, Deputy Chief Minister, Finance and Planning Minister, Maharashtra State, and President of our parent society, PDA, that is Pune District Education Association, Pune. We had organized various activities like essay competition, drawing competitions, competition, e-poster competition, and video making competition, medicinal plants plantation, medicine distribution for the staff, mass distributions, and pre-placement workshop on interview skills. I congratulate all students who have actively participated in these events and have made them a grand success. I also congratulate all coordinators of events and staff members for the hard work they have taken for the successful organization of these events. We know that the entire world is facing COVID-19 pandemic situation. All these sectors, including our educations, are deeply affected. We have taken this opportunity on the occasion of birthday of Honorable Ajit Dada Pawar for organization of various e-competitions. My appeal to all students and staff members is to stay positively in the current pandemic situation and fight it. At PDA level, sir, we also organize various events like Anant Mala from 22nd July to 27 July. In this series of lectures, topic from various areas like higher education, pandemic situations, then disaster medicines, law, health, and awareness were highlighted. Our parent society, that is PDA, was established in 1941 and runs around 110 branches. PDA provides education from KG to PG level, especially to rural masses. Under PDA, various faculties like arts, commerce, science, pharmacy, engineering, Ayurveda, polytechnics, law, computer science operate successfully. Sir, around 1 lakh students are taking education under the umbrella of PDA. PDA is achieving new heights under dynamic and visionary leadership of Honorable Ajitdada Pawar, Deputy Chief Ministers of Maharashtra State and President of Parent Society. Other office bearers are Honorable Rajendra Ghadge Sahib, Vice President of PDA, Honorable Secretary and Senate Member of Savitribai Phule Pune University, Honorable Advocate Sandeep Kadam Sahib, Treasurer Honorable Advocate Mohan Rao Deshmukh Sir, Deputy Secretary Honorable L.M. Pawar Sir, and Joint Secretary Honorable A.M. Jadhav Sir always motivate and guide us regarding organization of various activities for overall development of students and upliftment of quality of education in the institution. Sir, our college was established in 2006 and running diploma in pharmacy, bachelor in pharmacy, master in pharmacy in specialization of pharmaceutics and pharmaceutical quality assurance. Recently, our college has recognized as a research center in pharmacy under Faculty of Science and Technology by Savitribai Phule Pune University. Our students have won prizes in academics, sports, and cultural events. Our faculties have published a number of research papers in national and international journals and have also filed patents. On this occasion, I congratulate faculties, staff, and students for their achievements. Today's speaker, Dr. Praveen Kumar Inge, has published more than 50 research review papers in national, international journals. Dr. Praveen Kumar Inge, sir, is the editor-in-chief, Journal of Pharmaceuticals Research and Clinical Practices. He has served as an advisor for 6th International Postgraduate Conference on Pharmaceutical Science in 2018. He has delivered a number of speeches at various international level workshops, seminars, and recently webinars. He is a very knowledgeable and renowned person in clinical pharmacy and as excellent researchers. Today, he will share his knowledge about the pharmacy skill development for future pharmacists. I give my best wishes for these webinars. And lastly, I congratulate coordinator, Professor Amit Kasbe sir, Professor Manoj Jograna sir, and Professor Prashant Khade sirs, and other staffs for well organization of this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request Professor Manoj Jograna to briefly introduce today's international webinar speaker, Dr. Praveen Kumar Ingre. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It's my immense pleasure to introduce our today's eminent speaker, Dr. Praveen Kumar Vishwanath Ingre. He is working as a senior lecturer since 24 July 2014 in the Department of Pharmacy Practice, School of Pharmacy, International Medical University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He is served as editor-in-chief of the Journal of Pharmaceutical Research and Clinical Practice, JPRCP, which is published under well-known publisher Walter Kuer since 2011. He is also founder and president of Hari Vishwa Education Society. He also having the experience in R.C. Patel Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Sirpur, Maharashtra, India. He worked there as assistant professor from August 2006 to June 2014. He having a total 14 years of teaching experience and 10 years of editor-in-chief, working as an editor-in-chief for the JPRCP. He published more than 50 research review short papers in national as well as in international journals. He is a supervised student for the PG as well as UG for their dissertation and thesis. Secured a research grant more than 1 lakh in Ringgit, Malaysia is the currency of Malaysia for research project of UG and PG student from university, that is the International Medical University, Malaysia. He participated in many international webinars and reflected on topic with clinical relevance and patient safety. He participated in more than 40 seminar, conferences, workshop, training at national as well as international level. He organized national and international level seminar and conferences. He served as an advisor for 6 international postgraduate conference on pharmaceutical sciences, IPOPS 2018, which was held at International Medical University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He served as an assessor, examiner, evaluator for UG, PG, as well as PhD thesis for well-known universities. He actively involved in designing, developing curriculum mapping and content delivery of newly launched Master in Pharmacy Practice postgraduate course with clinical research specialization. He also contributed to other healthcare program curriculum designing such as postgraduate diploma in diabetes management and education. Yeah, I would like to say that presently he is awarded from the university for this program postgraduate diploma in diabetes management and education. I congratulate him for this achievement. He also involved in curriculum review, mapping and development and designing case-based learning, problem-based learning, objective structural clinical examination. In International Medical University Care Home Leader for one of the handicapped and disabled children community home care center. He is also associated with such a community services. He is a registered member of the Maharashtra State Pharmacy Council as well as a life member of Association of Pharmaceutical Teacher of India APTI as well as a life member of Indian Hospital Pharmacist Association IHPA. So such a great eminent personality is with us today. It's our pleasure, it's our fortunes. Now I would like to request Dr. Ingre sir, so please proceed with his talk. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Manoj Jograna, for such a nice introduction and in detail. So am I audible to all of you, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, at the outset, good evening to everyone, and for the occasion of our Honorable Shri Ajit Dada Pawar. So I just want to give my wishes to him on his birthday. So belated birthday wishes to Honorable Shri Ajit Dada Pawar, Deputy Chief Minister of Government of India and President of your society, that is Pune Education Association, right? So Pune District Education Association. So just I want to tell you that please convey my regards to him. And again, I would like to thanks to all the management team members of Shankar Rao Ursal College of Pharmacy and Research Institute, Kharadi, Pune, India, for giving me invite to talk in this international webinar for today's session. And also I would like to thanks to Principal Dr. Ashok Bhosle sir. He given a nice introduction and how many activities already you know covered in this pandemic situation. So I appreciate the efforts that all the team members are taking, and that is the way how we can move forward and learn from each other. So that is the the positive attitude everyone should have. Okay. Again, I would like to thanks to Principal Sachin Kotwal, who is a conveyor of this international webinar. Also, both of the coordinators, Professor Manoj Jograna, he was taking much efforts on this, and taking much follow up for this international webinar. So again, I would like to thanks to Professor Amit Kasbe and all the team members of Dr. Ashok Bhosle sir. Those directly and indirectly they contributed in this international webinar organizing this program. Okay, so with this with this just short greetings, I will start with the today's topic. So today's session I am going to conduct with the pharmacy skills development for future pharmacists. So actually why I choose this topic, so we will discuss in detail later on in this what are those pharmacy skill development the one should have as a competent pharmacist. So whenever you are telling the pharmacist as a competent one, so like the pharmacist role is very multi-dimensional. So we need to think a lot of the areas that where pharmacist is working. So it's not about the one particular the area or the thing the pharmacist is focusing. There are actually the many things the pharmacist is handling at a one point of time. Okay, so already my introduction is given by Professor Manoj Jograna, but still here I'm working in International Medical University, and this session is just for our knowledge purpose and learning from each other. Okay, so IMU is the Malaysia's first and most established private medical and health sciences university with 28 years of dedicated focus in healthcare education. Also, IMU has a Setara 2017 rating of 6 star. So 6 stars is the most maximum one. So IMU received a outstanding this the rating under the mature university category. So in this international medical university in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, I'm working, and already you know about the brief things about me. So this is my YouTube channel. So rest of the other videos you can see from my this YouTube channel. You can use this QR code to go through all the other topics if you're interested in the clinical aspects of the things. And also some of the topics are it's like common from diploma to the PhD, and those are planning to have their pursue their PhD in the near future. So I believe that it will be helpful to all of you in some sort. Okay, so what skill I develop, because I'm giving a lecture on the skill, right? So obviously some sort of skills I developed in this pandemic scenario that that was that was not developed earlier in my lifetime. And then I started making some quotes, and for today's session this is a quote relevant to today's session, like make a plan, set goal, work smart and achieve target. Okay, so these are the just keywords I have given. So don't think about the grammatical way, but these are the the keywords that is very important. Once you have your proper planning, your goals, and you are working very smartly. So you would be thinking like why I given these smart words here in a capital. So smart is having the 5 letters, the 5 the different words in that letters. So S is like the SMART. So particularly this smart will give you an overall idea how you can plan your goal, particularly once you know your target. Okay, so for that achieving the target, you need to nurture your brain accordingly. So it's depend on the thought process, so how you're thinking. So first of all, this is the background I want to tell you, and I want to brainstorm you before going for the actual our session today. So this is the how you generate your thought process, and that is the way how you can think positively. Okay, so that is the way how you have the energy in your body. So that is a positive energy you have in your own way. So that's all depend on your thought process. Okay, and also what are the mistakes you did in your past that you need to correct it. Otherwise you are simply doing the mistakes again and again. So it is valid for all, from the student point of view, from those are employees working in some organization or company. So it's applicable to all. So actually, we have certain titles for this session. So first one is, the background, where I'm going to give you in short a brief about how the India is playing a role in, pharmaceutical field, and how the pharmacy field is contributing to the, the Indian GDP in the, whenever it comes for the finance side. And also in background, I will let you know about what are those particular the opportunities are available in pharmacy field. Maybe like some of our online viewers, those are watching this, maybe like they are from non pharmacy background. Maybe they are planning to have a pharmacy as their profession maybe in future. So it will be helpful for them also. So that's why in background I just want to highlight some of the things related to our pharmacy profession, and how we can expect growth in the coming time. So in introduction, I just want to tell you about what are those skills the pharmacist should have, and what are the types of skill, and what are those cofactors again coming with the skills. Okay, so that we are going to discuss in introduction. The third point is job opportunities in pharmacy. So in pharmacy field there are a lot of job opportunities. When I was in B Pharm, even though I was not sure on that time what are those job opportunities, but this is a pandemic scenario, and now you are getting a lot of opportunity from many speakers to know about the job opportunities in pharmacy. And by that way you can nurture your career in that way. And that is the way like how we can learn from each other in online this type of webinars, right? So next point is a skill development. So that is our main focus here, the skills development. So what are those skills you need to develop? So last one is a message. So actually what message I want to deliver as a pharmacist, and you are becoming a future pharmacist for the country, and might be like getting the job, might be not in India, but don't limit to India only, but you may get in the abroad, might be in the other countries, right? So we'll go first for the background. We'll just start with the background. Okay, so why I choose this topic, right? Pharmacy skill development in for the future pharmacist. So there are many reasons to choose this topic, because still you are studying in your pharmacy, but you are not sure what are the skills you need to adopt, you need to learn, and you need to move forward. Okay, so only the classroom teaching is not sufficient. So out of that you need to think out of box and considering the real world. That is very important, right? So that's why I choose this topic, because you can see the textbooks are there, many references are there, but no one is highlighting the skills that need to be developed by the pharmacist as we are dealing with the patient. That is very important, right? And as like the medical facility, they have the the skill development by having the medical round, and they are participating in very actively. But as far as is if concerning with the pharmacist, we are not having that type of things in the Indian scenario, in the Indian setup. So that's why I just want to share my knowledge, and it will be helpful for all the audience, those are watching online, and maybe in the coming time those are watching this video. Okay, so for the future pharmacists it will be helpful. Okay, so what is the need of time? So we need to think our role as a pharmacist, and why nobody, like most of them, they are recognizing with the doctors and nursing staff and all others. So those stories already you know about that, right? So pharmacist, we need to be more proactive. We need to take a participation in the patient involvement, the patient care. So that's how we can build up the rapport, and then the public can recognize us, the society can recognize us as a pharmacist. So that is the role that everyone should play from their end. Okay, so it's not all about the one person, but everyone should contribute to have the role of pharmacist. So that's why that is the actually the need of time now, and we need to be act accordingly. Okay, so competitive word. So today is a very competitive word, and uh, everything you need to compete to get something to to achieve your target. So obviously for that you need to have certain skills, right? So for that particular skills, and then surviving in the competition, you need to be at the top place, right? So accordingly you need to have the proper skills development for in your particularly in profession. So pharmacy curriculum. So I saw many curriculum all over the world, and most of the universities, they have the different kind of curriculum in comparing with the India. Uh, Whenever it comes with the pharmacy practice area or the clinical pharmacy, we are lacking still for the practical aspect and checking the knowledge, the clinical skills of the student. So still we are lacking in some of the the applicable the application based type of questions, and whenever it comes with the Bloom's taxonomy. And that's how there is a still scope in the pharmacy curriculum to design the curriculum in that way, and to have the certain types of question regarding the scenario base, and by that way the student can understand in better way, and they should learn how to apply their knowledge in a real world scenario, right? That is very important. It's not all about the answering the question in the exam paper, right? So that's how in curriculum there is also limitation at their end to add on everything in detail in the curriculum itself. So still as a student you should have a self directed learning, and you need to be lifelong learner. You need to have the evidence base what's going on in the world. So whenever it comes with the recent things like the corona, so every day we are receiving some type of news, right? Every day, right, from the WHO and like many other the organization, right? So like that we need to be proactive as a student. You need to learn the skills that required for the future job, because most of the curriculum won't give you the idea that actual what's happening in the industry and what's we are teaching in the classroom. So sometimes it's not there is a gap in between. So maybe like student can try themselves to have the better understanding and need to learn those particular type of skill that required for that particular job. Okay, so that's how that is my opinion on the pharmacy curriculum. Okay, and that is the scope the student is having, that they can learn from from the teacher, from the textbook, from the internet, but whenever you're learning from the internet, that should be the valid actually the reference, right? So valid reference is that important. Okay, whenever you're using any references. Okay, so that is about the pharmacy curriculum. Next is coming again the traditional and modern teaching. Like the traditionally we know the blackboard teaching and everything, but nowadays like modern teaching we are learning out online, learning from the many international webinars now, and that's how we improve ourselves. Okay, so that is the the actually the change occurred in recent times, and if we are comparing with the traditional way of teaching. Okay, so that's how we need to think in a long term, and that's how we need to strategize our all the the planning in the long term way. Okay, so don't think about only the short term, but think about long term, how you're going to survive. That's why there is an importance of skills development in a pharmacy curriculum, in a pharmacy profession, right? So that's why I choose this topic for my today's audience, and it will be helpful for all of you. Okay, so this is just a diagrammatic way how I want to represent this. Okay, so as like how you will get the job opportunity in the pharmacy field. Okay, so in a pharmacy field, getting job, the degree is also important, right? So degree is a basic requirement. And again, whenever you're having the honor or any award, or you're standing first in university or second in university, only those things are not well enough. So there are literature available, and the articles were published in the good journals, showing that this is not inappropriate. Sometime those are having the high percentage of the marks in their exam, might be they are still lacking with some skills. Okay, so that is not only the way, like if you have the degree with the good marks and having some awards and honors to have the proper job, obviously it will be helpful for you, but long term you cannot rely on that. You need to develop your skills accordingly, and for that development of the skills, you need to have the lifelong learning process. Okay, so this is about the pharmacy skill development. And about the Indian scenario, this is the report I got it from from the web portal of annual report that is given published by the government of India, Ministry of fertilizers and pharmaceuticals. So this is the data. Like as a pharmacist, you should know that how we are playing an important role, in all over the world. So in there, the annual report, the statement was pharmaceutical industry, particularly considering with the India, is called as the pharmacy of the world. Why it's called like that? So India is the largest provider of generic drugs globally. Okay, that's how there is a minimization of the cost whenever it comes to the generic drug. Okay, so that's how the availability is now increasing, and that's how the patients are getting the proper treatments now because of the generic medicine. That is one of the important aspect, while having the patient compliance and also the medication compliance whenever it's come to the clinical side. Okay, so access to the affordable HIV treatment. Okay, and greatest success stories in medicine. So this is all about the Indian scenario, the biggest suppliers of low cost vaccine in the world. So these are the some highlighting points I've given here. Medicines are preferred worldwide because of the low price, and also because of the high quality, because there are many factors, like the many testing laboratories are there, and how the role of WHO GMP, that is the World Health Organization, good manufacturing practice, and the government is also dealing with that to monitor the quality of medicine that we produce, mainly in the Indian scenario. Okay, and that's how the pharmaceutical industry contributes around 1.72% with the country's GDP. So that's how the growth of pharmacy is there, and maybe in near future it might be more. Okay, it's depend on all about the drug discovery kind of things, right? So these are the things already about, right? After the 12th, so the person can the student can take admission in a diploma, B Pharm, M Pharm, and then PharmD might be B Pharm practice or post baccalaureate, and after completion of the PharmD. Okay, and there are a certain M Pharm branches. So I given here only the some like 5 only the specialization, and there are other also some specialization available in India. So these are like pharmacy practice, pharmaceutics, pharmaceutical chemistry, pharmacology, pharmacognosy, and other specialization that includes all these the parent branches. And there are many, like the quality assurance, if like coming from the pharmaceutic side. So after completion of the MPharm, you can do the PhD also is there, and then PDF is there, the postdoctoral fellowship, or some university may call as postdoctoral research fellowship. Okay, and there are many government body also giving some grant for this. Okay, so that is all about the background. So whenever it comes for the introduction side, so you need to think globally. Okay, so as a pharmacist, which particular skills you need to acquire? Okay, so say suppose right from your home, you start from your home, right? So what are those particular might be in your home, somebody is having the patient, like they are taking some medication. So try to check whether they are taking properly or not, before food, after food. These are the common things, the common skills we can say. So that leads to the patient compliance as well as the medication adherence. Sometimes the patient may get the adverse effect. In that case, how to minimize that? As a pharmacist, you should know this type of the basic skills. Rather, I can say in some of my other videos, you can go through, and there also I given some examples there, okay, for this type of skills acquirement. And here we don't have the time period, okay, so that's why I'm not going to explain in detail here. So skills development is like lifelong learning process, right? So skills development, whatever the skills I'm going to show you here now in today's my session, it's not like you cannot develop simply in a one day, or it's not like 1 month. So sometime it's leads some time, right? So because some skills you adopt, you develop because of getting the experience, right? Experience also matters. So your experience matters whenever you are doing the corrections in the mistakes what you did in your past. So that is the way you can develop yourself and your skills, right? So that is why I wrote here lifelong learning process. So this is not about the 1 month time period, or if you are doing some the program or workshop and you can achieve all the skills. Sometimes it is not related to the knowledge also, because some soft skills you cannot compare with the knowledge, because knowledge is a different thing and the skills are sometimes the different things, like the experimental things and experimental skills, and also some of the communication skills. Sometimes the communication skill is there, but the student is not having the much score in their exam. So that is a two different way what we can think about in the skills development whenever it comes with the student side, right? So how the search engine you can use for the job, and also in another way how you can develop your skills depend on the job criteria. Particularly whenever you're seeing some the search engine, those are offering the jobs in a pharmacy field, and those may be completing their B Pharm and M Pharm, maybe they are searching the jobs now. So what you can do, I'm not telling to them, not suggesting to them to do that things now, but those are particularly now in their first year or second year, still they have time to improve their skills that required for a particular job. Okay, so say suppose for example you're mainly interested in your clinical research, so do that type of develop that type of clinical skills in you. Okay, so instead of focusing all other area, you can focus on this, and then you can develop your career in that way, because most of the student they don't know their pathway, and that's how they are struggling in their lifetime, in their career afterwards, because they are not liking their jobs at all, and that's how they choose it wrongly. Okay, so that is the way how you can think now itself. Those are in their first year and second year, and by that way they can prepare their the upcoming career accordingly. Okay, so nowadays again experience is I'm having 10-20 years experience and 25 years experience, but what you did in your career and what are the things you did for your the society or organization, that also matters, right? So years is only not valid here. Years of experience is not not that much important whenever you're not having any value addition. So value addition is a maybe like the new terms for some of you. So apart from your job, your your current routine, what you're doing apart from that. That is what we can say is an extracurricular activity, like the publication, the patent, and all other things, like publication of the book and all other things. Okay, so whenever it comes with the student, so in pandemic time period, what you did in these 3-4 months, so what you can do now in the future if you are not done it. So what you can do, like you can have some online courses, right? You can do some online courses, you can develop some skills in you, whatever the skills you're lacking till date, because of the lack of time, and you don't have the time to give to yourself. So that is the actually the opportunity now we got because of this pandemic scenario. So that's how we take it positively. Okay, so this is the way how we describe the hard skill versus the soft skill. Okay, so what do you mean by hard skill? There are many literature mentioning it different way, like basic skill and also with the the job related skill. Here one of the classification is hard skill and also the soft skill. So hard skill is mainly the technical competencies and also the knowledge that required for a particular job to do some particular the job properly, and that determines through the education, work history, right? So your experience, so work history is experience, right? So what education you had, like particularly B Pharm or M Pharm, that is your hard skill. Okay, and then what is the soft skill then? So soft skill particularly is a desirable qualities, okay, including common sense. So what is the common sense? Like so everyone knows that already. What is the soft skill? And mainly the common sense, the ability to deal with the people. Okay, how you're dealing with the people, and also the positively flexible attitude. Okay, so what we can say, it's not depend on the acquired knowledge, but also the soft skills mainly dealing with the one who is dealing properly with the other persons. Because as of whenever you're doing some job in some organization, some company, you need to communicate with a lot of people. Whenever you're a hospital pharmacy, you need to be in healthcare team, right? Whenever you're in a pharmaceutical field, then you need to be along with all other team members. So you need to have that particular soft skills, that is very important. And that's how, like in some curriculum that soft skills is not given. So that's how you can achieve it by externally, by attending some workshop or by having the own self directed learning. So that's how you can connect with the job opportunities as a pharmacist, how you're going to sell your soft skills. So soft skills, whenever you're mentioning in your resume or in your curriculum vitae, so one cannot understand whenever you're mentioning in your resume or in curriculum vitae, but whenever you are participating in some job interview, in some the audience, those are the group discussion, so there ultimately your soft skills will be recognized, and always you can mention in your resume and in your curriculum vitae. So I'm not opposing you to mention it in your resume, but what I'm telling here, that is not going to be analyzed on the paper. So that is the basic concept of the hard skill and versus the soft skill. So hope so you understand about the hard skill and soft skill. So hard skill mainly dealing with the degree you have, the experience you have, and at the other hand, the soft skill is mainly dealing with the way you talk with the people, the way you manage the people, and the way you do the work in your organization and the company. Okay, so how to crack your job interview? So some of you might be thinking about how I can crack my interview. So obviously there is a need of skills that you need to develop to crack the interview. Okay, so these are the some few points I just go through very quickly. Okay, so in resume or in curriculum vitae, how particularly you can add the information. Basically the qualification is the most important, you need to add there, right? The professional objectives, so what is your objective to do the the job? So that should be very clear. If you are not clear with your the objective of your job or your profession. So it will be trouble for you in the interview. So that is a one type of skill, I can say. Rather, it's like adding and making up your own resume or in your curriculum vitae if you have certain type of experience already, right? The next one is experience, value addition, problem solving. So one of the quote I want to give here is that problem solving. Okay, so those are you might be heard about, like so many people, like they have the CEO post in the organization company, they are having the crore of rupees salary per month. So how they are getting that? Because they are different than the common people. That we need to accept, that is a truth, right? So that's how in their particularly in their interview, what are those questions the organizer will ask, the employer will ask. So this is the way they will ask only this type of question, problem solving. They won't ask about your qualification, they won't ask about the other the things, the minor things, but they only focus mainly the major part only. Okay, so these are the major part they focus, like value addition, how they are going to add the value to their organization if they are going to join them, if they are going to join to the new job, what problem solving they have in their past, right? So basically how you're going to solve the problem whenever you have any problem. So they just want to check your critical thinking, how your thinking is critical, and what is your answer for that. Because one question have many answers. So like the many answers are there, and every person is having the different perspective for that, right? So that's how problem solving is very important whenever you're building your resume or in curriculum vitae. So if you have any type of this type of experience, so you need to add in your resume. Honors, awards, recognition, that should be added in your resume, right? So if you are awarded from someone, organization, company, or maybe you have honors, university ranking 1 or 2, so like top 5 in the university or something like that. Okay, so that should be added in your resume. Special skills, so like if you did any type of course, or the online course, or any type of the skills, so you must add that particular skills in your resume. And lastly, the references. Okay, so these are the key components the one should add in their resume whenever it comes for the job and need to crack the interview in a proper way. And obviously you should know that for particular which type of job you're giving your application, and are you eligible for that, and again your resume is aligned with that particular job profile or not. Okay, that is very important. Because whenever if you're not interested in that job and simply you're applying, you don't have that particular skills, so your rejection will be, the chances of getting rejection is more, right? So this is the one of the article published online with the National Institute of Health. So hard evidence on the soft skills. Okay, so soft skills are recognizing nowadays, even though this article from 2012, and coming time also the articles are publishing, and they are giving the the importance of soft skill in getting the job, and also whenever you're changing from one job to another. So that is the way we can take it positive, and we can develop our soft skills accordingly. Okay, so these are the job opportunities in pharmacy field, like multidimensional role of pharmacist. So as I mentioned you all earlier, so the pharmacist is not working in any one of the discipline in one of the department, but many things are there to focus on, right? So this is the currently in the last, I think some few years back, Pharmacy Council of India, they have given the role of pharmacist, right? So this is the way how they develop the role of pharmacist, and where the pharmacist is working actively in the Indian scenario. So at the same time, we need to think about the global perspective also whenever it comes with the World Health Organization, and how they're focusing on the different discipline in every year, and in the current time So this is the way how they focus in 2019 about the patient safety. So how we are having the patient safety in the healthcare setup, and no one should be harmed in the healthcare. So that is all the responsibility of the pharmacist as well as all the healthcare professionals, and that is the how they develop the role of the patient safety in the healthcare, right? So these are the job opportunities for the pharmacists, because whenever you're thinking about the skill, you should know about the job opportunities in education. You have these are the job opportunities. Okay, so I won't explain you in detail, but just I will show you these are the some few the opportunities in education. Like in academics, you have in the integrative and collaborative research. So as a pharmacist, you can collaborate with the other people, like those are from medicine, those are from nutrition and dietitian, those are from other field. Okay, so that's how the collaborative research works, and that will be helpful for getting the grants as well whenever you're working in education, right? So higher studies also can you can go for the higher studies, like the PhD or the PDF, PDRF, and also getting the JRF, and then senior research fellowship. Okay, at the same time, there are many jobs in the abroad also, if you are thinking for the academic side in the education. Okay, in a hospital, these are the like multi-specialty hospital, private hospital. Okay, like drug information services, poison information services, pharmacovigilance centers, specialized care. Like in western countries, compared to the India, that is totally different. Like specialized care, like intensive care unit, like geriatric people, pediatric people, pregnant women. So everywhere there is a specialized pharmacist for that every particular discipline, right? But that is not followed here in the Indian setup. Might be in the future we can think about that. Okay, so that's how the hospital role is there for the pharmacist, right? So community side, like nowadays, as I mentioned you earlier, there is a market of the generic medicine, and also in community pharmacy there are many now the chain pharmacy is coming now, right? Pharmacy chains by the many pharmaceutical companies. So you can have your own retail pharma companies, or also with the pharmacy chain. Okay, so that's how the retail and wholesale pharmacy works in the community setup. Okay, so at the same time, there are other opportunities like airport pharmacy, the pharmacy at airport, the railway site. Okay, those are like metropolitan cities. The online pharmacy nowadays is growing on because of the pandemic and other situations, other reasons, right? So this is a very growing field now. The patient counseling also very important. Like this is a growing field nowadays. Mainly like some of the few cities of India already they established their own care center to provide the counseling in some disease condition, like the chronic condition, or might be like related to the nutrition, and also related with the some disease condition like very common like diabetes, hypertension, right? And also advanced services. So whenever advanced services with the community site, like checking the body mass index, checking the blood pressure, and also the weight management, and giving the advice about the lifestyle modification, what particular type of diet the person should take in their disease condition. So those all components come here in the community pharmacy, right? So preclinical site and the clinical site, these are all the job perspective in those sites. Okay, so right from the drug discovery to the clinical site and all other departments, the pharmacist is having the job opportunity right from the associate or the executive to the president. Okay, so it's up to you how you nurture your skills and how you develop your leadership to go further and then achieve the president post even in the pharmaceutical field. Okay, so jobs at abroad might be like it's depend on the different countries, like various countries having the different the guidelines for the hospital pharmacy, community pharmacy, and some jobs are also available in the pharma industries, including the CROs, and obviously in the academics. Okay, and how reliable the consultancy are. So sometimes if you're relying on the consultancy whenever you're thinking about the jobs at abroad, so sometimes you may have some issue in that or hurdle in that. So my suggestion, my opinion is to have direct contact with the HR team, and whenever you're interested at the jobs at the abroad, right? So government side, whenever in India, so these are the all government jobs you may get in the in the Indian scenario, in the Indian setup, right from you need to have the UPSC, the exam, right? So Union Public Service Commission, and also it's whenever it comes with the state, so it's a state examination you need to crack first, right? And after that you may have the opportunity to work with all other government facility, as well as you can have the your own community with the recent the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. So now, like, more than 5,000 community pharmacy already set up in India, and many more are coming to have the the own your community pharmacy. Okay, so this is the last one, like entrepreneur. Okay, should I get a job or start my own business? So that is a question you may have now, right? So if you have the certain resources, you can always start your own business. Always you can start with the your own plan with the community pharmacy, might be with the industry, might be some center or institute. Okay, so that is always better to have your own things, okay, instead of doing the job at the other side. Okay, so this is the way how you can go clockwise as a pharmacist, or you can think anti-clockwise also. Okay, so sometime thinking in other way, that is also very important. Okay, so that's how I given here the clockwise and then anti-clockwise. Okay, so that is the all job opportunities for the pharmacist. Okay, so this is about the skill development. So what are those skills particularly we can develop in a pharmacy student for the future pharmacist? Okay, so this is another article, it's showing that grade point average, that is a GPA, is an inappropriate measure of a residency candidate's knowledge and skill. So sometimes it's very hard to check the skill of the person, the student, and also with their mark sheet. So mark sheet, you can't rely all the times there. So you need to see the soft skill of the person, the student, and also you need to check his the expertise in some particular field. So that's how the interview goes nowadays. And then after the selection of a specific round, the company will select the candidate. So you need to know this type of the practical aspect. So once you know that, you need to be prepared in that way, okay, for your future jobs. So this is how I define here what are those particular skills as a pharmacist you should know and you need to develop. So first of all is a hard skill. As I told you earlier, you know about this now, hard skill and soft skills, right? So obviously you need to have both the skills as well as, okay, and as I told you, this is a lifelong process. You can't expect that everything I can build up in in 2-3 months or something like that. So because some skills you may develop because of getting the experience from your colleagues, or might be the team members. So that's how the skills you can develop in among yourself. Communication skills, obviously it is very important to all the jobs. Rather, I can say it is a basic essential component for all the jobs. So whenever you have the proper communication skills, obviously you will get the confidence, and confidence is the way you can do anything, right? So communication skills, job related skills. So that's how you are doing some jobs. So obviously you need to develop the job related skills. That is really important to your day to day life, doing your job correctly and doing your job very confidently, right? And then positive energy. So you should have the positive energy. Okay, take it positive, and then whenever you have the positive energy, you have the confidence to communicate, and as well as you have the perspective to see the things in positive way. Okay, so this is the way one having the positive energy, think accordingly, right? So basic key components for thought process is a positive energy. Okay, so this is how I develop my own content. Okay, so this is not all available in the internet, but this is how I understand this pharmacy skill development throughout my student life, rather I can say from my 20 years of time period. I developed my own opinion and use some literature, read some literature, and how I develop my own skills, and that I want to share with you. So at the same time, you need to know your strength, weakness, opportunities, as well as limitations. So like everyone cannot develop that particular type of skills that I'm going to show you, but somehow you may have some limitation in your life to achieve that. Okay, so everybody is having struggle. Okay, so struggle is like is a daily life routine, but how you tackle it, that is very important, right? So that's how you develop your skills, you develop your experience to go further and then do something else other than what other peoples are doing. So that should be the unique one. So these are the job related skills the as a pharmacist you should have. Okay, so whenever I categorize particularly in the education side and the community side, and also with the in a pharmaceutical industry. So these are the job related skill the pharmacist should develop, is a qualification, right? So qualification and then experience. So obviously the degree is needed to get any job. Okay, but this particular degree, as I told you, is not going to be there for a lifelong. The skills are the one that will give you the lifelong learning, and also that is the way how you survive in the growing market in a competitive world. Okay, so actually the basic things that is needed always, that is a qualification, and experience is matters. So like how you develop yourself and learn from the things you did in your past. Research always, whenever you are in education, you need to be very active in the research. Okay, whenever you are dealing with the current scenario and also with the competitive world. Okay, and as you are the getting senior in those particular field, might be you're getting the new job or administrative post as an educator and making the policy for the student, for the upcoming student, for the future pharmacist, and how that is the way how we can give a proper direction to the coming pharmacist in the future time. And for that, again, the teacher need to have the ICT skills. Okay, the information communication and technology type of skills, like the online teaching, and also teaching innovatively. It's like not it's like not a the only the teaching in a conventional way. So that's how we need to do it our job accordingly, with the innovation in teaching always. Okay, and extracurricular activities. So apart from that, we need to have some extracurricular activities. So there are many actually. Okay, so I don't explain you in much detail here. Okay, so these are the particular job related skills related for the community pharmacy or the hospital pharmacist. Okay, so particularly in the community and also in the hospital setup, the patient is a main component, right? So the all treatment should be patient centered care, right? So whatever the treatment we are planning, so it should be patient centered. It should give the proper compliance to the patient. Like say suppose I will give you some example here so that you can get insight of the topic. Okay, so say suppose like cancerous patient, right? So recently I given one deliver a talk on a cancer anti-cancer drug therapy, and then the perspective of the manufacturing to the clinical practice side. So whenever the person is taking anti-cancer drug, so there is a lot of things like the major side effects are there, adverse effects are there, and also the same time the patient is having more pain, right? And the pain is like uncontrollable. So that's how the research goes, and then they are finding nowadays the technique that is very the painless, or might be the injections are free of pain. Okay, so that's how the research goes, and maybe in coming time we can have that type of formulation, novel drug delivery system in a pharmaceutical side. So like the pulmonary side. So like the still the clinical trials are going on in many aspects of the diabetes and in cancer, and they're finding the ways how we can improve the patient centered care by giving the more compliance, the more luxury to the patient, more comfort to the patient while taking the medicine. So these are the aspects we need to think about as a community or the hospital pharmacy, and also as a researcher and the scientist, right? So advanced services like what I mentioned here earlier, like the BMI, the body mass index checking, and also the normal routine blood tests, and also the counseling type of things. So that all comes here in the advanced services. So obviously, the one should have the online software, the computerized database in the community and the hospital site. So that's how you develop your skills in a digital way, right? So these are all digital skills you need to develop. Okay, so as you know your role, you need to develop that particular type of skills. Promotional activity, right? So as you know that there are many promotions going on in the malls right nowadays. We can see the how they are promoting their product. So that trend is also coming in the pharmacy side also, the promotional activities. So that's how you promote some of the items in the pharmacy, and also giving some discount to the patient, and that's how you build up a rapport and also the trust on you as a community pharmacy. And obviously that will be helpful to grow your business accordingly, right? So but always you need to have the ethical practice, and also you need to think about the patient safety. Okay, and for that learning process you need to attend the training workshop, community services, and also the some programs to develop and have your knowledge accordingly, right? So these are the job related skills of the pharmaceutical side. Okay, so this is about the global scenario, you need to think about that, and accordingly you need to have the guidelines, policy, evidence. Okay, so obviously like what I mentioned earlier, you right, the evidence base, like whenever you're thinking about the COVID-19 situation now, so we are using a lot of guidelines that might be coming from the ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, and might be from the World Health Organization, and also with the recent literature. That's how we define evidence here, right? So that is very important. Whenever you're learning any new things, you need to be up to date, need to be use guidelines, the recent guidelines, the literature, the policy, evidence base, the research article, right? And also like you're attending some international webinars earlier, and that's how you develop your skills and the knowledge accordingly, right? So obviously you're doing some innovation, and the researcher and the scientists also doing some innovations by referring these all guidelines, policy, and the evidence. Okay, so at the same time these all things come under the extracurricular activity, rather doing the job alone, what other things you are doing. So that all comes here in the job related skills. Okay, so these are the soft skills what I mentioned here. These are the top particular type of soft skills. Okay, so lifelong learning. Okay, problem solving, as I told you earlier, and given the example of the person those are getting the higher salary, how they're getting that, right? So it's a problem solving. So how you're capable to solve any problem. Okay, so that's how you have the self-esteem, you have the confidence to sell your soft type of skills, and that's how you getting a job that having the better the salary structure, right? So that's how the problem solving role comes here. Confidence, always integrity. Okay, I'm not going to explain you in detail, you can further go in detail of this type of soft skills. Okay, positivity and enthusiasm, flexibility is like more important, right? So how you are communicating with the other persons, that is very important. Flexibility, how you are working in the organization, how you are supporting to the colleagues, if he is in a trouble, he is in a problem. So that's how the flexibility roles come here. Okay, rapport building as a community pharmacy, how you are building your rapport. Okay, so dispensing a medicine in a proper way with the all counseling with that medication, that builds up your rapport, right? Again, rapport building with your manager, with your higher colleague, right, your boss. So that's how that rapport is building in your own organization, and that's how you will get promoted in that, right? So that is very important, the rapport building. Good work ethics. Okay, so obviously as I told you, for having a patient safety, you need to be very moral, and then having some ethics, and then own your principles to serve the people accordingly, serve the patient accordingly. And also that how it will helpful in a long term. Okay, so don't think about the short term. As I told you earlier, it's all about the long term way, how you think, and then how you build up all your other skills, right? Resourcefulness, so that's how you share your knowledge. Resourceful, right? So I'm sharing my knowledge from here, and you're listening in there in India, right? So resourcefulness is one of the thing. Like I also learn many things from the international webinar nowadays, right? So from this 3 months time period, I learn many things from the international speakers. Okay, and that will be obviously helpful for me to learn something out of box, and also it will be helpful as a lifelong learning process, right? Loyalty is one of the another factor. You should be loyal with your organization, with the company where you are working. So these all skills are mainly coming whenever you are doing jobs. So those particularly thinking about the jobs need to develop this type of skills in near future. Okay, leadership skills. So maybe like you join as an executive, you join as a the initial phase of your career, but at the latter time, maybe after 5 years or 10 years, you need to develop the leadership skills accordingly, because simply you cannot do all the jobs at one type of designation. So the designation, when it will go further, whenever you have the leadership skills, you have the capability to guide the certain people, and then you need to be work as the group leader, right? So obviously leadership skills plays an important role here. Effective communication, as I told you, it's very important. And communication, how you're communicating with the people, other people. Okay, business etiquette, time management, obviously it's a basic principle, basic skills, you should develop that, okay, from your student time itself, so it will be helpful for you. Emotional intelligence, okay, so you need to accept the reality. So that's how emotional intelligence role come here, and you need to accept that, and you need to modify, adopt that change, right? So that's how with this pandemic scenario, we adopted the online teaching, online delivery, and then everybody is sitting at the home and occupying with this particular situation, right? Innovation and creativity. So innovation, where it comes, when it comes, whenever you have the thought process, critical thinking, and that's how you think innovatively, and that's how your mind is having some creativity, right? So that is another way how you reduce your stress whenever you are thinking in a creative way, and also having the innovation in your teaching, or maybe in your study time, right? So everyone should need to check why I am learning this topic, right? So as a student, you should know why I am learning this pharmaceutics, why I am learning pharmacology. So that is the application, right? So how you're going to apply in your real time scenario, that is very important. It's not only about the exam period of time. So that's how the empathy role comes here. You need to know the sadness of the other side also. Okay, and you need to know like how people are sad, what are the reasons for that, and that is the way how you develop your sympathy as well as the empathy, right? Teamwork, obviously it's matter. You need to be work in a team. Okay, reliability, so you need to be reliable to each other. You need to be confident whenever you are working in a team together. So you need to have the confidence with your colleague also. Okay, so that confidence is mainly deals with the reliability. And motivation and initiative, so you need to motivate the people, those are doing the good job, those are doing the good work, right? So motivation is very important. And if there is no motivation, the self motivation role comes there, right? So you need to have that type of motivation at your end. If there is no proper motivation from your boss, or maybe at the higher authority, right? So these are the skills development, the soft skills. Okay, so this is the last the part of my presentation. So communication, what type of things, like you need to be a well communicator with the publicly, right? Whenever you are publicly speaking, or you should have that type of confidence, right? Open minded listening. Okay, so you need to listen to others also. It's not like communicating at the one end. You need to listen to them also at the same time of time. Okay, non-verbal communication. Okay, how your body language. Okay, so that's about the skills, non-verbal communication. How you're presentation is also matter. The clarity you speak. Okay, the feedback. So it's not about the feedback giving by your own end at your own side, but whatever the feedback receiving from the other end, that also important. So that's how the role of two-way feedback comes here. So say, suppose for example, we are giving the feedback on the student assignment, but at the same time the student also can give the assignment, the feedback on the assignment that given by the teacher. That's how the process will complete. So that's why it's called as a two-way feedback. Okay, as I mentioned, empathy to you already, right? So the way you communicate, the way you talk when there is a necessary, that is also important. That's a very basic skills the one should have in their career. Okay, so the positive attitude, so happiness, confidence, optimism, enthusiasm, encouraging, and then courageousness, then spiritedness, and then pluckiness, intrepidity, and then fortitude. So these are all particularly the components coming whenever somebody is in the trouble. So you should you should help them whenever you are working in some organization or in a company. So that's how I shortly can mention about this all type of skills. Okay, so later you can go in detail if you want to build up this type of skills, like leadership skills whenever it comes with this uh, then mentoring skill. Okay, sophistication, credibility, valor. Okay, and then respectability, consideration, pragmatism, conflict management, and gallantry. Okay, so conflict management is also very important. Whenever you have the team leading capability, obviously you have that capability to manage the conflict in between the employee, those are working in that industry or the company. The work ethics. Okay, so self motivation, punctuality, committing. So committing with your works, and the productiveness, how you are doing your jobs in a daily routine type, how efficient you are doing that. Okay, then the determination, how what determination you have about your job. So that is one of the skill. And the diligence. Okay, and there are many other skills you can develop in a work ethics. Integrity. So these are the the one should have among the integrity, like trustworthiness. So as I told you earlier, some of the components already, you should have the trust with your colleagues, those are working with you, and that's how your confidence will get built up, right? Honesty, obviously, the kindness, moral ethics, and you should be focused for your work. Okay, attentiveness, decision making capability, principles, and also that is your own principles, and then personal values. So these all the skills coming under the integrity part. Okay, the teamwork. So this is how you can work in team very efficiently with other colleagues with having this type of skills in your lifetime, right? So courtesy, so like courtesy is mainly dealing with the business etiquettes, how your manners, how you're polite, graciousness, and then patience, and apologizing if you're doing, committing some mistakes. So obviously you need to apologize for that. Okay, so respectfulness, phone etiquette, like talking over the phone, and then all other things whenever you're working in an organization. So these are the very small things, but it plays a main important role whenever it's coming with the with the skills development, right? Decency, like how you looks like decency, and then gratefulness, how you're grateful to the others, how you're appreciating their work, and doing the jobs all together, right? Responsibility, obviously, the first one is common sense roles comes here, dependability and maturity, particularly where the responsibility comes, where there is a the managerial skills comes here, particularly at the higher end. Okay, higher end, right? So these are the people particularly managing those people working around them, and also in the team, right? So these are the skills one should develop in particularly responsibility, right? So this is about the flexibility. The one can have the flexibility with the learning process, obviously the adjustability, okay, willingness to change for the good things, I can say, rather it's not about the wrong things you're doing. So okay, so willingness to change for a betterment, right? That is very important. Adaptability, teachability, like how you're resourceful, how you're teaching with the others. Okay, acceptance, so if somebody is giving the feedback, how you're going to accept that. Versatility, okay, so that is how you have the role here in the lifelong learning process. Okay, so I think is the last point now. It's social. So obviously you're staying in a, you're dealing with the society. So self-control, sociability, and how you're greeting in day-to-day life to all others member in the society, how you're behaving with them with the friendly nature or with the arrogancy or many things, right? With the empathy, nurturing, and what type of humor you have in your daily life. Okay, how is your personality is there with the other people, with the society. So that's how the people will recognize you in the society. Okay, so these are the research perspective whenever you're thinking about your research. Okay, so do some pilot study before your research study. Okay, so this is the additional part of what I can say here, apart from the skills. And this is the way how further you can develop your skills. Because if, say, suppose you are in M.Pharm, in masters in pharmacy, you want to do some research. So first of all, you need to go through the evidence base, the literature. You need to see, say, suppose somebody is working in a pharmacology, right? So you need to see the recent article, how the practical animal experiment is going on, how the other researchers are doing the research work, and then that particular type of work you can do, you can develop your skills accordingly, right? So that's how I correlate here the skill development with the research perspective, right? So always you can learn the new things, like you might be heard about the artificial intelligence, the machine learning role nowadays coming here in the market. And maybe in future you can think about mainly focusing on the skills with the computer science that mainly deals with the artificial intelligence and also the machine learning. Some research is also going through the social media based research, like WhatsApp group. Still the researcher are using the WhatsApp also in some of the literature I mentioned. I gone through the literature, and then we can see how they are using the social media in a research. So that is the innovative way how we can apply the different things in the doing the research, right? And obviously it should be the patient outcome based research, like what I explained you earlier, the example of cancer, and how the patient we are giving the better treatment. That is very important, right? So that's how the patient outcome based research plays an important role. And there are many aspects because due to the lack of time I cannot explain much more in detail of the patient outcome based research. But in a short way, how I can explain here is to uh, increase the compliance of the patient compliance and also the medication compliance, and also with the innovative way of doing the research, and also doing the practice in the daily life. So these are the future prospects, and these are the some lines I wrote for the future pharmacists, like passion leads to the innovation, and that's how your creativity matters. Positive thinking makes creativity. Okay, developing new skills that mainly distract you from the daily worries. Okay, so if you are not having any work, do some work to develop your new skills, and also that is the way how you can release your tension in a daily life, in a daily day-to-day life. So that's how you take it positively, right? Where does research starts? Wherever there is a question mark, wherever there is a unknown word, right? From there the research starts, right? So that is the way how I can explain you shortly here. Where does the research start? And that may be helpful for you in your coming time. Maybe like recent literature having some the unknown fact. That's how the research starts at that end, right? So these are all the future prospect you need to see about the local as well as the national context as well as the global perspective. Okay, so this is not only, don't limit yourself to the local context, but you can see what are the things going on worldwide, how the world is moving. Okay, so how the world is moving and how they are making the new things and doing the things innovatively, right? You can learn many things with the social media, rather I can say with the YouTube and many other platforms are there to learn something new, right? So this is the last message I want to deliver to all of the pharmacy student as well as the faculty members and those are watching online. Let's contribute to the pharmacy education and research by enhancing quality education. Okay, so this is another quote I wrote in this time period, and that's how I develop my skill in this particular discipline, in this profession of writing the quotes, right? Basically I wrote the positive quotes up to till date. Okay, and I want to continue with the same in the near future, right? So I think that's all from my side. If you have any question, you can ask me, or you can just email me your questions afterwards so that I can answer for it. Okay, so this is my Gmail address. Just I will show you here on the screen. Okay, so if you have any question, you can ask later on also, or if you want to ask me right now, you can ask me, no issue. Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, and thank you for all the audience to listen me patiently, and then I took your extra time, I can say like here. Okay, so I try to actually the complete within the given time, but this is a very broad topic, and then even though we cannot complete with this time period, so basically it requires some more time, like the workshop and something like that. So it will be developed practically. So that's how we develop the pharmacy skills development in a practical way, in an experimental way, rather giving only the things like in a theoretical way, right? So yeah, any question, Professor Manoj Jograna? Any question you want to ask? Like any?
Praveen Inge, sir, you has given very excellent presentations.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Let you share detailed knowledge about the pharmacy skills.
Yeah, thank you.
Pandemic situation is there. One that is maybe share your knowledge. Nowadays, online is going on, and you given that is a one online pharmacy with consultations.
Yeah.
Online pharmacy with consultations. Is it
Yeah.
ethical or permission from
Exactly. Yeah.
countries, or it is required? Suppose I am in India and I want to give the pharmacy consultation in America or any other countries. Then
Yeah.
require the permission from other countries, or only it is a permission or ethical wise only India is enough?
Okay. So that is your question, right? So if you want to do the online consultancy, right? Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want to do basically the online consultancy, right?
Yes.
And you're asking about the other country that you can consult, right, online?
Yes.
So yeah, as I mentioned you, there are drug information center, right? So obviously you need to take permission from the higher authority, and to establish the drug information center might be in your institute, right? And
Yes.
obviously for that you need some resource, right? Resource means like, you know, the textbook, the information you want to give to the public, to the society in a evidence based manner, right? If somebody is asking the, say suppose example, the question related to the corona, and you know, nowadays we have the you know, every minute we have the new development, you know, so nobody knows about this nowadays, like, you know, we have the recent development in a few times, rather we can say. So that's how, what resources particularly you are using, the books or online resources, you need to purchase that resources. Also you need to have somebody to look after your drug information center. Also if you have the poisonous information center, you need to do that particular one particular staff for that, to look after all the queries that is received by the your drug information center as well as the poisonous information center. If you want the all details, I can share with you afterwards with this session, with like, you know, how you can get approval or something like that, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone having any question or doubt, you can ask to Dr. Praveen Kumar Ingre, sir. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. If there is no any doubt, shall I proceed to the conclusion?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Faculty, if anybody has any question, please.
Yeah.
Faculty.
Okay, if
No.
you have any question, you can ask me. Still, like, you know, the pharmacy skill development, we need to grow in practical aspect. So that is the what I can say in my conclusion, right? Yeah. Anything you want to add on? If you don't have the question, also you can just talk. If you want to have any additional information, I'm ready to accept that. Actually, I'm open for that. Yeah. If you want to add on some other things also, you can add on. If you want to add for the public or the society or for the student, for the betterment. Yeah.
Or you can post your query to email ID of Dr. Praveen Kumar Ingre.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can do that.
Okay.
No issue. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Praveen Kumar Ingre, for sharing such a wonderful and fruitful information regarding what skill pharmacy should have. Make a plan, set goal, work smart, and achieve target. The one of the best quote to define the overall role of the pharmacist. In this session, we got insight regarding the background about the pharmacy field, its contribution in Indian GDP, highlights about pharmaceutical growth in India, and as a pharmacist, what skill we need to develop, what are the different types of skills, and also we have highlighted on the job opportunity after completing pharmacy course, multi-dimensional role of pharmacist, and what are different search engine, how to search job, and what are the different job opportunities in community pharmacy, and different jobs at abroad. So overall, I was thankful to Dr. Praveen Kumar Ingre, sir, for this information, and definitely it is going to be helpful for the future pharmacists to achieve their career goal and to build their career as a pharmacist. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request Professor Sachin.
1 minute. Okay. Some from in panelist, some principal is there. Principal Ashwini Shevare, College of Pharmacy.
Okay, yes.
And Principal Dr. Rajeshri Chavan, see on live on YouTube. Some faculty from HRS College of Pharmacy, Saswad, and some faculty from our College of Pharmacy, Hadapsars. Just welcome them.
Okay, sir. So before concluding, I would like to welcome Dr. Rajeshri Chavan, Principal HRS College of Pharmacy, Saswad, Professor Ashwini Shevare, Principal College of Pharmacy, Hadapsar, Dr. Vijay Barge, Vice Principal Shankarao College of Pharmacy, Kharadi, Pune, Dr. Ravindra Patil sir, Professor Shankarao College of Pharmacy, Kharadi, and all other my colleagues who are attending this online international webinar by using different online platforms, by using YouTube, or they are joined by using Zoom. I welcome all the faculties who are joining here to this to watch this international webinar. Can I proceed, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Now with this, I would like to request Professor Sachin Kotwal, Principal Shankarao College of Pharmacy, Kharadi, to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. As we know, we are celebrating the birthday of our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra State and President of our PDA, Honorable Ajitdada Pawar Sahib. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion of international webinar on pharmacy skill development for the future pharmacy. On behalf of Pune District Education Association and Shankarao College of Pharmacy, I extend very hearty votes of thanks to our today's international speaker, Dr. Praveen Kumar Ingle sir. Really, his guidance is valuable to us. A big thanks to our office bearers, Vice President Rajendra Ghadge sir, Honorable Secretary and Senate Member of Savitribai Phule University, Honorable Advocate Sandeep Kadam Sahib, for his continuous support. Also thankful to Deputy Secretary Adam Pawar sir, Treasurer Advocate Mohan Rao Deshmukh sir, Assistant Secretary AM Jadhav sir. I also extend my hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Ashok Bhosle sir for his guidance, Principal Shankarao College of Pharmacy, Dr. Rajeshri Chavan Madam, Principal HGRS College of Pharmacy, Ashwini Shewale Madam, Principal College of Pharmacy, Hadap sir, Dr. Vijaya Barge Madam, Vice Principal Shankarao College of Pharmacy, for their coordination. I'm also thankful to all the coordinators of today's event, Amit Kasbe sir, Manoj Jograna sir, Khade sir, Veer sir, Ingle sir, Dasade sir, all our colleagues, teaching, non-teaching staff, and I am also thankful to the attendees, various delegates from the other colleges, principals of our other colleges, various HODs, and last but not the least, all the students who are attending this webinar, all the participants and all the delegates. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. And just I would like to thanks once again to all of you, to especially with the management team and Dr. Ashok Bhosle sir, and then all his team members, Professor Manoj Jograna, okay, Professor Amit Kasbe, and Professor Sachin Kotwal, to invite me for the this today's international webinar. And that's how, like, you have taken a good initiative, rather I can say, for the students.